I don't know if I want to continue. If people that can't hear me, they can hear me now. Test, test, test. What's that, Bill? That looks strange. Test, test, test. All right. I shall continue, folks. Tell me if in the chat if you can hear me, if the audio has been fixed. Type a 1 in the chat. 1's in the chat for those who can now hear me. Thank you for the patience. Look, I want to show you this video. This is how I'm going to start it off today. This is how I'm going to start this off today. Silly videos. So those who are falling asleep, it's already 12 o'clock. Okay, folks, wake up. Maybe you need a silly, exciting videos to wake you up because, you know, I'll bore you with any talk. Oh, get into deep things. Nick, just give us the videos, man. Give us the clips and give us the excitement. Huh? All right, sick people in the chat. You want bread and circuses, huh? You want food? You want your bread and circuses, huh? Manja, manja. Okay, I got you. I'm going to show you a little video. And these following clips are from a pretty you know, he's got a big channel on YouTube. This individual, his name is Mark Dice. You may know him. Right, conservative guy. Mark Dice, I enjoy laughing at liberal lunatics, mocking celebrity scum, and exposing the liberal media industrial complex. Well, thank you, Mark Dice, for your work over there on YouTube. Yeah, I don't have no real opinion on Mark Dice. He seems like a fine person. Wishing you well, but he's got some clips, and I've seen his content every now and again as I peruse the internet, and I see him out there on the streets really giving it to the liberals. And so, you know, I don't pay too much attention to that. Folks, you can't even hear me. Saying now audio, they're saying really low. They're saying really low. Test, test. Test, 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 test. Okay. Gotcha. I should be able to just stop it without this, like without having to create a new stream, huh? Yeah, you should do it like that. You should like do the disconnection thing. Test, 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 testing. Testing, testing, testing. We hear you. Perfect audio? Hold up. I think so. Okay. What's up, everybody? It sounds like you can hear me. You can hear me. You can see me. Okay. Okay. Well, where was I? How should we do this? How should we do this, folks? Audio o plomo. Sincerely, thank you for dealing. Thank you for dealing. Sincerely. And where was I? Because I was talking about something. Basically, I was going to show you a video, okay? I wanted to kick it off today a little bit here with a video. And it's supposed to be silly, okay? It's supposed to just... Where was I? Okay, so... Look, the whole vibe is... I want you to see this video, and I want you to just chill out, okay? Nothing's that deep right now. Look at this silly video. It's a Mark Dice video. Do you know who Mark Dice is? He's a conservative YouTuber guy, sticking it to the liberals. That's what I was saying. Before you couldn't hear me. I wanted to show you this video, okay? So I wanted to paint a whole thing here. If we have the time to do it. I wanted to paint you a picture, okay? Let me get my bearings here. Because I was telling you about Mark Dice. I don't really watch his content too much. I've seen it every now and then. And he'll be out there on the streets, right? Sticking it to the liberals. Out there doing man on the streets. But I came across one recently, okay? And it's not that deep. But let's watch it, okay? Let's watch it. And then let's consider how we got here.
Fired up.
Let's think about how we got here. Because look at these dumb idiots, right? Hey, check out these idiots. Look at what these idiots are doing out in the streets. Mark Dice talking to them about, things. Let me show you. If you're a little lost, I am as well, okay? I'm trying to show you a little bit, a little slice of life here in America. Let me pull it up. Okay. What the? Okay. There it is. Folks, we did it. Okay, video on deck. Let's watch it. Let us watch this Mark Dice video. He's on the streets asking people if they would rather this 1 ounce gold coin or $20. Let's watch.
Offer you this free 1 ounce gold coin or free $20. What would you rather have?
$20?
$20? Well, it's your lucky day today. Or my lucky day today, actually.
I'll take a 20.
Oh, you take a 20?
Yeah.
You don't want the gold?
No.
No? What are you gonna do with the 1 ounce gold coin, right?
I can't put it in the parking meter.
Can't put it in the parking meter?
You can't put that in a parking meter? What a
All right,
useless...
well, if I were to offer you a free 1 ounce gold coin or $10, which would you rather have?
Probably $10.
Probably $10.
Oh, yeah. 1 ounce of gold. Psh, what am I going to do with that?
All right, well, congratulations. You're a big winner today. Yeah.
$10.
Oh, $10? Oh, well, congratulations.
Okay.
Thank you for choosing unwisely.
Yeah. Well, how much is that gold coin worth?
Well, if you were to bring it into this coin shop over here, I mean, it just depends on the day, but today, I haven't checked in a while, but probably $1,800.
Oh, really? Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Too late to trade.
Yeah.
Damn,
You made your
man.
decision.
All right,
That's
next
what
time.
else,
Next
bro.
time. Well, we'll meet it next time.
You couldn't have Googled? You didn't do your Googles? You couldn't have done a little Googling? Maybe that's against the rules. But do you really need $20? I would have just taken the chance. Give me the coin. See what's up. NPC test. This is the NPC test, says Nathan. Ah, what idiots, right? Oh, man. American public, so stupid and just so stupid. The American public, right, guys? Like, how could you be so dumb? You bunch of idiots out here on the streets, huh? What else is going on, huh, Mark Dice?
Supporters.
What else is going on in the streets of America? Huh, Mark Dice, show us. Why is this not working? Okay, this
From
play.
continuing to say that Joe Biden stole the election, you're not
This is about the election, okay? Just watch.
allowed to say that on social media. It violates the terms of
I'll
service.
sign that.
But we want to start arresting them because they're still saying it out in offline. You know, after the January 6th incident, they banned anybody from claiming that there was election fraud on social media.
We live in Arizona, so we get it.
Well, we'll start arresting them
Oh.
and stop them one way or another.
Love that.
Thank you. You know, right after the January 6th insurrection, Facebook implemented a policy. You can't say that Joe Biden stole the election,
Right.
but people
You
are
can't
still
say that.
saying that off Facebook. And so it's time that, you know, they start getting arrested. Thank you very much. I'm not sure what country they think they live in where they can say such things.
I thought this was America.
Appreciate that.
If you're not following, he's going up to people in the street and asking them to sign a petition to jail Americans who dare question the 2020 election, you know, in their public life, because you can't do that on these social media platforms. And that's one thing. Okay, well, that's their rules, as much as you may disagree. But you dare speak that way out in public? Well, this is a petition so that we can jail those people who think they're, I don't know, they're living in America or something.
That.
I hate
You know what? They keep making claims about.
Oh, trust me, I know it all.
We're going to start arresting them. Facebook implemented a policy after the January 6th riot that you can't make.
So you get the point, you get the gist, right? Back-to-back clips here. It's like, wow, Nick, they really are so stupid. Thank you for showing me that. Americans are so stupid. It's over. It's all so dumb. And maybe that's all you. Maybe you're scrolling down. You see your Mark Dice clips. And hey, shout out to Mark Dice. I have no problem with him. But let's say you're scrolling down. You see your Mark Dice clips. You're like, wow, look at these libtards. Libtards, we got them. We got them in the streets. Right on, boys. All right, let's go home. Job done. But hey, let's take a step back here. Let's just take a moment here. As silly and as much as you were enjoying yourselves on a lighthearted American Anchor, baby, watching your videos, laughing away Monday. How did we get here? Okay. How did we get here? Because we're being used. We're being used. Okay. A huge trick is being played on us, and it's really amazing to watch. Okay. They're talking about preparing to deploy. You know about this conflict over there on the other side of the world, the latest of conflicts. Israel, Palestine. You know, they're considering deploy orders for U.S. troops to the Middle East. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, this is from Breitbart, placed additional U.S. troops on prepare to deploy orders. One step closer as we inch closer to open conflict with American citizens being sent to fight. One step closer. And there, you got to understand, I showed you those videos, right? But I really want to talk about this. They're talking about deploy orders. Meanwhile, things at home are a mess. And you know this already. Things are at home, they're a mess. I mentioned this a little bit last week. It seems like we totally forgot about this whole speaker race. You remember that? The speaker of the House. I was telling you last week a little bit of an update on that with Jim Jordan. Remember? And I have to thank the ladies at the Skim. I know I'm taking this from Hake, but we're all really impressed by the ladies at the Skim who have just a masterful hold on and grasp, a real masterful grasp on the situation abroad and at home. We have to thank them for their service on their very poignant analysis of domestic politics and foreign policy. Where would we be without the ladies at the Skib? Talking about all the support to Israel and all that, but also on the House Speaker. And like I said, I was telling you last week a bit about this. It seems like that's not that important anymore. We got DeSantis, we got Gavin Newsom, we got U.S. politicians flying over to Israel. Because that's the main thing, right? That's the most important thing. That's the main thing. I mean, it was not that long ago when they were telling us, actually, the main thing is the speaker. That's super important. We can't. This Congress is not going to run without a speaker. We had callers calling into the JLP show and the Hake Report saying, look at what you Republicans, you guys love chaos. Look at you Republicans. You guys want to see the country fall apart and the world burn, all because you're a bunch of radicals. You remember that? That was the most important thing ever. The House GOP. Yesterday, after nearly 3 weeks without a House Speaker, 9 Republicans decided it was the right time to throw their hats into the ring. So we got a bunch of names. And this is after Jim Jordan loses his floor vote 3 times. 3 times they tried to get Jim Jordan to unify Congress under a new speaker. And it hasn't been working out. It hasn't been working out. And so my point is, it seems like they forgot about us, right? They forgot about Congress. They forgot about us. And if you remember, the whole fight about the speaker was for us, was for the American people, for the public, because the government isn't working for the people. And I've mentioned the saga a little bit already, but you somewhat know this. Kevin McCarthy was ousted by Matt Gaetz. Ousted by Matt Gaetz for not delivering. The border needed to be dealt with. All this money going to Ukraine and all this stuff going on. They had to put an end to that. And Matt Gaetz, along with others, decided it was time for McCarthy to go. And this is after betrayals, after full-on betrayals. McCarthy basically doing a deal with the Democrats. Hey, they want to shut this whole thing down. And look at what these. Can you imagine? This is me. This is McCarthy talking to Democrats. Can you imagine these Republicans? They want to deal with the border. They're not going to let this go on unless the border gets dealt with. Can you imagine these guys? So Democrats, how can we work this out? How can we work this out? Okay. So I work with you. We fund the government for 45 more days. We forget about everything they're saying and the border and all that. Hey, sounds good to me. Let's shake on it. Betrayal. McCarthy goes with the Democrats. Right? It was supposed to be for us. My point simply being a little lost here, but my point simply is it's very clear how emotional and activated parts of the government have become recently after years of mess, right? Anyways, they're escalating, preparing to deploy at a time when wisdom and long-term thinking are essential. I keep hearing that phrase. Wisdom and long-term thinking are essential. But it's true. It's true, and we don't see it. We're not really seeing it. They made the word de-escalate illegal. Well, not illegal, but the Biden. Remember, I was reporting on this last week. But the Biden administration basically instructed their administration and those abroad to stay away from such words such as de-escalation when going over to Israel and talking about war and all that. Yeah. Banned phrases and words. Yeah. De-escalation. You can't say that. You're not allowed to say that. That's coming down from the top. That's an order. De-escalate. How dare you? They made that word illegal, or and it's just a mess. They want to fight. They got this all going. And I know you were laughing. Your head was back, guffawing at these libtards in the streets with those Mark Dice videos. But it gets stranger and it gets darker. It gets much strange. It gets much darker. It gets much more violent. Okay? This is just recently. They're saying this is in California. They're saying this happened recently. Video going viral. Let me show you. Huh? Are you going to head back and guffaw at this one too? You might. Whoa! Let's watch that again. We got some street racing on the streets of California. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to see this individual get hit by this car, pretty significant hit, takes a tumble, doesn't get up. Kind of concerning, right? If you're a person in the crowd, but look at what the crowd does as soon as they see this guy on it, he's not getting up. Look at what they do. They're robbing him and they slap him in the face. One guy comes up, goes through his pockets, hits him in the head. I'm showing you this because, okay, maybe you're laughing at this one too, okay? Maybe you're maybe you're head back just cackling at this one too, just like you were cackling at the libtards. But maybe some of you aren't laughing so much anymore. maybe some of you aren't quite laughing anymore. You were laughing at the libtards. You were like, stupid. Ooh. Something just stopped being funny. Maybe some of you watched that one and were like, wait. Something stopped. The comedy just ended. Something is not so funny anymore. Yelling, slapping him in the head, going through his pocket, stealing. Guy looked pretty hurt. The guy looked pretty hurt. Most were filming. These people are in a fallen state, says Carlota. Yeah, because maybe the laughing is over for some of you. And you're seeing the real darkness in display. We got Hamas already, folks. We already got Hamas and terrorism. We already got it. It's in the streets. It's in the homes. It's in the streets and it's in the homes. We got Hamas. We have the IDF. Some are saying the IDF are like Hamas. You know, we have it all. Okay, we have it all. And of course, it starts in the home. And landed on his head, says David. Yeah. I was never laughing, says Nathan. Nathan knows like I do. The joke. I like laughing, okay? But Nathan must know like I do that there's nothing quite funny about all this. Barbarians, savages in the streets, okay? This is no different. You just saw that crowd filming that guy and all that. That is no different than a tribe of Africans around some fire sacrificing someone and going in some strange savage language. Same spirit, same thing. We have atrocities. We got atrocities. We have propaganda. We have it. I don't pity him though, says Zeus. Fair enough. Pity is not love. Shouldn't be pitying people. Pity is not love. I love my chat. I love my chat and my audience. I really do. Right next to, these are two comments side by side in my chat. Matthew in the chat says, I'm still laughing. Nathan right under him says, I was never laughing. You got to love the range. And I love my audience. I love my chat. But you see the barbarian savage spirit? Do you see it? Look at these Gazans. Look at these Jews. They're such savages. They want to kill. They want to level it and make it a parking lot. They want to be head babies. These Hamas people want to be head babies. We have savages, all right? We have dirt hut, chicken blood sacrificing barbarians in the streets of America, okay? He was trying to stand out there and block the cars from doing donuts. Yeah, he shouldn't have stood there. That's for sure. So we got the savages. We already have Hamas. We already have it all. And we got the propaganda. It's funny. I've seen Adam Kinzinger on Twitter belly aching about public support for the war. Public support. Wow, this is awful, he writes. This is as bad as the GOP on Ukraine. What the hell ever happened to supporting America and our allies? Should U.S. send weapons and supplies to Israel? Now, these are just CBS polls, and we don't care about polls. We don't care about polls or put too much importance in polls. This is a CBS poll, and this might work. This might prove to be a little bit of a bellwether here. And Democrats aren't with it. What happened to supporting our allies? What happened, Democrats? So Kinzinger, this rhino, Adam Kinzinger, belly aching about war. I thought you were an American. Meanwhile, they're out here with all this propaganda. They got propaganda. You know, this super viral tweet. We're talking 6 million views. 6 million view tweet. Ariel Davidson. They cut the fingers off of Jewish children and removed their eyeballs. Please lecture me about proportionality. Because you're hearing about people telling the people in Israel and the military to be measured. Not every person in Gaza is a terrorist. Not every person is Hamas. Have a heart and don't just level it. And like, people are asking for proportionality. I mean, some of these calls for proportionality are coming from the U.S. government. Okay, the U.S. government themselves, the State Department. I reported on this the other week. The State Department themselves was urging. Not so overtly, but it was there. Look it up. They were urging Israel to be measured, to be proportional. And so this person on Twitter, they cut the fingers off Jewish children and removed their eyeballs. I have not seen such reports. I like that the skepticism is like at an all-time high on Twitter lately. It's like source. People are wondering where this person got this. What an incredible claim. Wow. It's amazing you have to go that far. You don't think you'd have to when you have atrocities on video. You'd have to go around saying they're ripping out their eyeballs. And it really is propaganda. It's pure propaganda. I came across this video. And these are supposedly side by side. You see that in the top video. This is a video out of Palestine, they say, allegedly. In the top two, you see what it looks like two women clad in terrorist-type looking clothing and colors, holding firearms and pointing them in the sky. Looking quite, looking rather terroristic. And then in the bottom, you see it seems like these two women in a totally different, singing a totally different tune here. Now this might be now there might be a third level of propaganda here. Like, I'd say this woman here looks like this one. I can't be sure they both are the same ones though. They look, I would say, if you ask me, folks, I think they look alike. I think they're the same people if you ask me, but I can't even confirm this. So it really is propaganda everywhere. But, you're understanding what I'm showing you here. The top is them with guns, and then in the bottom it's them singing a different tune. Oh, poor me, look at my tears. Life's so tough. And we don't know what they're saying, but a lot of cameras for them on the bottom. So it's really a mess. If you're following me here. It really is truly a mess. The eyeballs, they're ripping out their eyeballs. They all look the same to Nick. They look identical, probably Mexican women. I'm just seeing your chat right now. Just eyeballs, they get the eyeballs. Oh, man. So, where was I? Propaganda. Why was I showing you this? Propaganda. What else? The ladies, the terrorist ladies, they don't want to de-escalate. Okay, I'm going to get to calls. Thank you. 888-775-3773. And I'm showing you all this. Okay. So how do we get here? I'm basically showing you this because I'm a little amazed by our government. I know it sounds crazy. Why are you amazed at this point, Nick? Why are you amazed at this point? But we are just being shown in our faces what a trick everything is, okay? You got, let me paint it here for you. I just told you about the House Speaker race and how they completely forgot about that one. You got McCarthy selling out the Republicans to work with the Democrats to keep everything good without any true concessions for the American people. Then they have a long fight over a new Speaker of the House. And now they're saying they don't want Jim Jordan. Now they want to fight and say, Jim Jordan, nah. And who is fighting? Who's fighting against Jim Jordan? Who is voting against Jim Jordan? Who? Don Bacon of Nebraska. Look, you can look up these names. The point is, these are all establishment Republicans, conservatives, entrenched, have been there. They work with the establishment. They're the rhinos. Those are the people voting against Jim Jordan. And my point in telling you that is they really don't care about the speaker race. They don't really care about the things they were saying they cared about. They said, this is so important. We need to have a speaker. But here we are. Here's a speaker. But the establishment says no. And the establishment proves yet again they're against the people. And they're willing to get this war going. Send all that money over. Everything I showed you is to make this point here. Is it really is totally on display the trick being played on us. 77% too fat, mentally ill, or stoned to serve in the U.S. Army, apparently. For those who are worried about being drafted. No, actually, I was going to say for those worried that you'll be drafted, turns out a whole bunch of you won't serve because you're either too fat, mentally ill, or stoned. But that actually doesn't bode well for those thinking that you're a little too old for the draft. Because if the younger ones that are supposed to be drafted can't be drafted, they're gonna increase that age. I'm fear mongering. Don't get in your head. I'm just fear mongering. I was just reading this headline here. You know, as we're talking about what a mess. You know, as we're talking about the trick being played on us and how politicians are basically pilfering the American public's wealth to give it to those that don't deserve it, that hate us, to those that don't produce anything in this country and abroad. At the same time, we are like demoralized and degenerated. Okay? They're saying that the Gen Zers are saying they're not going to get drafted, though. I'm going to show you this little TikTok. The Gen Zers are thinking, they're saying they're not going to get drafted, but hold on. It was good because hold on, it wasn't the government, it wasn't Black Lives Matter, it wasn't the Jews, it wasn't any of these groups, it wasn't women that turned you into shells of people. It wasn't all that. All those people didn't do this to you. Let's watch.
Everybody saying
Let's watch. Maybe your mothers, but you got to forgive them, and now you're an adult, so maybe your mothers had some part to play. But watch.
Why is everybody saying Gen Z is going to get drafted? Like, no, the fuck we're not, and you know why I know
Sorry
that?
about the swearing.
We're just going to say no. Like, how are they going to actually force us to get up and go to war? I understand it was like that in like the 1940s. What else is there to do in 1940 besides shoot people?
Yeah, no, I'm pro-draft now. Yeah, we need a draft.
We have things to do nowadays. We have twerk, be bisexual, eat hot chip, lie. And we're also like really mentally ill. I have like 6 of these. What makes you think I'm qualified to have a gun? Like, within 600 feet of anybody, including myself.
Y'all are laughing in the chat.
So tacky. Like, can you imagine just like pulling up with a gun? Like, that is so fucking embarrassing.
So, you know, anyways, all this to say, it's like, it's just amazing how the American people really are just hollow. They've been the wealth and the value of the American people and family and public has been pilfered. It's been stolen. By taxes and these people in the government thinking that this shutdown is going to do anything. That vote Republican, they're really going to do it this time, folks. They're really going to fix it this time. But it's all just a big scam. So that side is true. But then also this side too, how did this happen though? Who did that? How did that? Taxes didn't do that. Foreign lobbyists didn't do that. You know what I mean? I'm not counter-signaling against anyone who's pointing out foreign lobby influence in the government. Thank you. Thank you for your work. Let's root it all out. I think it's just wrong. It's just wrong. Why are we fighting other people's wars? But let's not lose the plot. Foreign lobbies didn't do that. Right? Where am I wrong? Am I wrong? I'm willing to be wrong. I'm willing to be corrected. 888-775-3773. I'm about to get the calls here and super chats and all that. You know, a little loosey-goosey, a little lost from the beginning, but I think I was able to tell you everything. I think I was able to present everything. You know, I'm seeing. Anyways, that's pretty much everything, right? Thank you, Skyjack, for the super chat. Says, God help anyone who would get drafted and be expected to go to the front alongside that caliber of American. Lord help us. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I bet you, I don't know. Here's one thing. I have a theory. There's one thing. It's one thing to be like that guy, but I have a feeling, and I'm not saying that they're going to stop being gay, but I have a feeling that all fruitiness and broken hand maniquerado-ness and all, fruity, lilty, that whole spirit, out the window once the artillery starts dropping. I'm not saying they're going to stop being gay or anything, okay? They got to overcome. They got to forgive. But look, I have a feeling that all this little broken, little limp wrist kind of vibe and spirit, once the artillery starts dropping, once the roof is shaking, yeah, that's out the window. Okay? It's a fall back to my training or we're going to die. Carver in the chat says, I think they're going to get even gayer. You don't know that? No one's gay once the bombs start dropping. Anyways, you're not even gay anyways. It's not real. You're just an animal. Like, find Jesus. Okay. That's everything, right? Let me get to calls. Let me see all the super chats here. Thank you for dealing, folks. Let me make sure I'm not lost here. Let me do a full reporting. Lin Yan Chin, thank you for the earlier super chat there. Appreciate it. Says, not my country, not my problem, not my planet either. I just need white baby engineers to build giant robots. May you poop in peace always. Thank you for the well wishes, Lin Yan Chin, and the well wishes to all who are expelling concentrated evil outside the back of you. Wishing y'all well. Thank you for the support there, Lin Yan Chin. Where was I? Let me get calls. Because after all that we just talked about, I want to show you what's worse than any beheaded baby. All right, I'm going to show you something that's worse than any beheaded baby. All right. In fact, what I'm going to show you, it begets beheaded babies. The source of beheaded babies. I'll show you that after this call. We got Art Ohio on the air. Thank you for your calls. Thank you for calling, sir. You're on the air.
Only good woman is a servant woman in the U.S. Army.
Only good woman is a servant woman in the U.S. Army, you said?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, indeed.
Women in the Army?
Yep. And shout out to, I got to say, shout out to Joe Biden or whatnot and Kamala Harris, man. I got to say, man, something I do like about Kamala Harris is she was named, what was she, the border czar or something like that?
Uh-huh, yep.
But guess what? She ain't doing nothing, though.
I know this is the border under her rule.
Yeah, so she wasn't the natural order that God set out here for her to do is to be led. She's supposed to be led by a man, so she, of course I wouldn't expect her to do anything. So she's actually doing what I would expect her to do. And she ain't doing nothing but helping RDR improving R's point or whatnot. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So then you like, well, why you say you liking Joe Biden now? Well, I really don't like him or whatnot. I'm still Trump 24 all day.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta say, these liberals went out here, was scared of Trump. He's gonna push Orange Man back. He's gonna send us to war. He's gonna you want him to have control over the nuclear missiles and this and this and this and that, and then turn around Joe Biden, get in there, and then we at war. So my thing is this: these liberals, especially these liberal females, my body, my choice type females or whatnot, they want all this debt forgiveness and this and this and that. Ain't nothing for free out here in this world. And y'all dummies went out here and thought that y'all was going to get debt forgiveness, and the only thing y'all got is y'all about to be getting drafted into a war, and y'all going to war. Y'all going to work for that money. You ain't getting no free, no debt forgiveness. You about to go to war. And it ain't gonna be no missiles flying all around, and ain't gonna be no hand-to-hand combat. This ain't that, and that ain't this. And I don't know who telling these people that this is gonna be missiles flying back and forth, and ain't gonna be no hand-to-hand combat. But you lost, and somebody been lied to.
It's crazy, man. They've enslaved. It's like they've enslaved the American people. They've enslaved like. At least before when they actually called it slavery, I mean that things were a little bit more in the open. Now they call it taxes. They call it taxes and voting. And here we are. We got this fight in the House Speaker, and they said, okay, finally we're gonna have a speaker. And what does the establishment do? Laughs at the American public and says, actually, we don't need one. You just have to do what we want. And if you don't, then you don't get anything. And then, go back to work. So forget about the speaker race, American public. You don't have rights. Go back to work. Make sure you pay your taxes so that we could send it to Ukraine. We could send it to Israel. Give it to the people you just mentioned, illegals. At least before, when they called it slavery, at least things were a little bit more open, in my opinion.
Yeah. And just like Hake said, yeah, you right on with you. Hake said a free lunch. Ain't no such thing as no free lunch. Bring your neck here so I can smack you and send you over there to fight this war, talking about a free debt forgiveness. It don't work like that, man. Anything that's free ain't good, you dang on dumb lib, you dim tard. So second thing is I want to definitely agree with something that you just said about that Zestify fella you had on there with the Get 'em Daddy shorts on, filming himself or whatnot. Get 'em Daddy. You said
that was a justified individual. I have to concur.
Yeah, oh yeah, he got that sugar mouth. It was sugar get going everywhere.
That sounds wrong to even say.
Weak mouth. So hold up. Nah, you said when the stuff hits the fan, it gets real. Them 5, 6 get to going out. Yeah. All that sugar gonna fall out his pants, and you so right about that.
You think I'm right on that one?
Yeah, they gonna straighten up.
Yeah. All that Get 'em Daddy will go out and become go, bombs,
yeah.
artillery.
Yep. But I'm agreeing with
contact.
Yep. They gonna have bass in their voice and all that. They ain't gonna be like contact. Oh, stop that shooting.
Stop.
Yeah. Stop that shooting.
No more.
Reload. abort.
No
we
more.
We need somebody.
No, they're gonna want to hear your commands.
Yeah, you can't hear nobody. He's screaming off with a soft voice or whatnot. Help us. We need reinforcement. Nah, ain't none of that. But it's gonna be 50-50. Like 50% of them, they gonna off themselves. They mentally ain't built for it. They gonna probably they gonna self-delete themselves. And the other 50%, they probably are gonna fight. But the thing is with that dude right there, that Sweet Mouth that you was showing on there, see, Artie Art gonna send William up there to check and see why he ain't fighting or whatnot, while Artie Art is standing behind him, making sure he's doing what little zesty Gen Zer is fighting. Artie Art gonna be standing back, making sure he's doing what he's supposed to do. And if he act like he ain't trying to fight, I'm already had that 5.56 cocked, and I'm gonna hit him from 100 yards away or whatnot. We ain't gonna tolerate none of that deserting and running. Either you gonna fight or you we got a way to handle deserters or whatnot. Because truth be told, I'm not serving with no zesty fellas.
At that point, it's honestly, it's like at that point, once you're, and this is pure imagination, folks. This is nothing. None of this is like, there's no wars. There's no draft is going on. Okay, so we're in our heads here, but that's just at that point it becomes about surviving and you making sure that you and the boys in your squad make it back home alive. So I understand your sentiment. I know it sounds violent and all that, but I understand your sentiment because at that point, it's you and your squad in the foxhole, as they say, and lives are on the line. Whatever you believe about the war and politics.
It's gonna only be strong or whatnot. Ain't no just either you gonna fight and stand up and be strong or whatnot. Your mama told you can be zesty all your life or whatnot, but around here it ain't gonna work like that, man. Either you gonna fight or you gotta go straight up. You almost start because you like totally understand why militaries would have those kinds of bans in place. No homosexuality in the military, and then that eventually became don't ask, don't tell or whatever. But you understand why. Why, especially when seeing videos like that. I feel like we're seeing all sorts of things come out, and we're learning the hard way, as they say, on a number of things. And and this is one of them. They would. I used to hear, like, if you would think if they can hold a gun and shoot and do that well, then it's fine. It doesn't matter, all the other stuff doesn't matter. You could almost agree with that, but now we're seeing the actual results of it all. We're seeing the zestified people on TikTok, and we're like, now I understand. The people before us, they were right. You hear what he said? He got pills. I don't care if you got no pills. I don't care if you no female. You coming and fighting. It's just Artie Art ain't gonna be in your vicinity because you ain't gonna have one of them mental breakdowns, so you ain't gonna take Artie Art. See, I'm a conservative. I'm an alpha male. I already know how y'all act. I'm not gonna let you get behind me and try to off me or whatnot. Just 'cause, you know what I mean. I'm already hit. I'm just like I said. I'm not serving around no fatbacks, no zestifies, and I ain't serving with no females. But they gonna have. He talking about there ain't gonna be no draft. Well, I'm sorry to tell him. I don't know who and where he thinks that these people is gonna be fighting in this war gonna come from. But they coming from Gen Z for sure, and they coming from probably Artie Art too. 37, 40, going on 40 years old or whatnot too. It's gonna be some 40-year-old and ups out there. So all this y'all don't know what a female is. All that stuff y'all talking, y'all gonna pay for that. Y'all coming out there to that field. Well, all I'm gonna be in the house. Well, I realized something the other day. I was worried because I heard from one of my callers. They said that IQ determines a little bit about where you might be. And I went into my imagination, which is what you shouldn't do. But I went into my imagination and thought, well, there goes the anchor baby, folks. He's going to the front lines. But I realized something the other day. The anchor baby's going to be a cook. What am I talking about? I'm going to be the cook feeding the boys, feeding the squad. Yeah. I got way too much experience. I'm going to be in the mess hall feeding the boys Cali chickens all day, bud. Yeah. and your man Frederick is talking that, you gonna serve where they want you. Well, if they gonna play by well, I'm just not gonna serve then. They just gonna have to send me to jail, or I'm just gonna go AWOL and I'm gonna be somewhere in Mexico. Either you gonna let me be where I want to be at, either frontline. I'm not, just like I said, let me do how I'm gonna do, or I'm not messing around with the Army or none of that, because I'm not being around no Dusties, and I ain't dang sure serving with no Fred.
How did Muhammad Ali get out of it?
Because I think Muhammad Ali went to jail or whatnot.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know what it was. I think he went to jail for like some months or something like that, and he ended up getting out. I think Don King got him out or something like that, if I ain't mistaken.
All right. Right on, Art. Well, thank you for your call. Anything else you want to say before we move the wheels here?
No, I'm just Gen Z, man. They better get. They've been listening to too much of that Democratic stuff. They think everything is rainbows and the colonizers and what's that word? Diversity is a strength. They lost on that, and everything is like a Disneyland, Disney World facade, and they don't understand what's really going on. They need to open up the history books and go play with them little green G.I. Joe army toys and plastic toys I used to play with and wake the HELL up. That's what they need to do. But I can't.
Just wait till the MK-84s start. Just wait till the MK-84s blow up around them.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's gonna get real.
And we get air bursts. All right. Yep. I'm gonna move on here. Thank you, sir.
Catch you later, guys.
Call me again. Right on. I see some cool calls right now. And it's been a loosey-goosey bit of a show here. We have an interesting intro. I feel like I've just been playing catch-up this whole show. Let me take a moment. Let's silent pray. Let's silent pray for just 10 seconds here. Let's take a breath here and consider what's the mission statement for today's show? Where were we? Where were we? 888-775-3773. You want to get something off your chest. Let me show you something that's worse than any beheaded babies. And I'll get right to calls after this. So thanks for the patience. 888-775-3773. Let me show you the downfall of America. I know you were laughing at the libtards. I know you were shocked at the car crash, at the savagery in the American streets. I know you've been incensed by images of dead children. Both dead children never have dead babies. Dead baby bodies have been so important and valuable as currency in the information war that has come about in the past few weeks. I know you saw all of that. Let me show you the source of beheaded babies. Let me show you the source of beheaded babies and atrocities and propaganda and the savagery on American streets. I don't know if you're ready for this. For those faint of heart, you might want to be careful here, okay? For those faint of heart who just can't quite handle it, okay? Behold the American household.
You get a PC, I got you, brother. Like settings, all that stuff. What's that?
The caption reads, when you don't want your kids to ever leave.
Chili cheese pierogies.
Oh, my lordy lord. Thank you. I love you.
Love you too.
This is amazing. Speaking of food, I'm hungry. Let's get it.
I worked overtime today. There you go. It's butter shrimp.
Ooh, butter shrimp. Thank you. I love you.
Love you too.
Love you, Mom. Thank you, Mom.
Oh, you got more beef patties?
Yeah, jerk chicken.
Beef patties. Man, I want some beef patties. I've been like craving some Jamaican beef patties for a while. You know, I came out to the West Coast, and I know I recently learned there are some Caribbean restaurants out here, and I bet you they have some great jerk chicken. I might have to check it out. But it's all tacos, and I love. Hey, I do enjoy tacos. Okay, had some yesterday. Good stuff. I don't know about change. I don't know if we need to change the demographics. You know, maybe we should take a page out of the Japanese. You know, they have Mexican food and stuff over in Japan, but Japanese restaurant owners. But that's a side note. The East Coast, the West Coast doesn't really know Jamaican beef patties, so you know, I would love one. Okay, this is what I'm trying to say. Let's watch.
There's chicken on your salad.
Such important commentary for me, I know.
Oh, I love you. You're the best. Thank you. That looks amazing. Food. What is that?
Jerk chicken, mini subs, and 3 cheese.
Ooh, thank you. I love you. That's good. What is that? Oh, is it the sandwiches? Oh.
Big old bacon, turkey,
yeah.
cheese,
You're the best. I love you. Thank you.
Love you. You're welcome.
Oh, it's good. Food's already ready.
Yeah, I'm going out on a date. Date night.
Is that?
Oh,
So
here. I'm going out on date night.
Ooh, enjoy yourself. That looks amazing.
Yeah.
You know what you should have done? You should have put chicken on the salad.
You've got all these.
See, he's mad because she's going out on a date night. This is actually the first time he's criticized the food. He's just been saying, ooh, thank you, Mom, thank you, Mom. She comes at him with the salmon, this loaded plate salmon. We got salmon, we got rice, we got salad. And notice this is his first criticism. He's like, you should have put chicken in the salad. What's different about this one? Mama has a date. Am I reading too much into this? Yeah, obviously I am. I'm just playing around. Maybe I'm reading too into that. Huh? Maybe I'm reading way too far into that one. Is that a bit of a stretch? Oedipus complex, anyone?
Yeah, I'm going out on a date. Date night.
Is that?
Oh,
So
here. I'm going out on date night.
Ooh, enjoy yourself. That looks amazing.
Yeah.
You know what you should have done? You should have put chicken on the salad.
And then he looks, he's like,
You've got
what do you think about that, huh? What do you think about that one, huh, Mom?
all these people busted my balls about that's not how.
Is she? I didn't watch the rest of this, folks. We're kind of live reacting to this. I didn't expect this. She didn't like the criticism, it looks like it.
You've got all these people busted my balls about that's not healthy. Me. Never in any of my hashtags did I say quinoa life. And no,
Is that are you flirting? What's going on here?
it's chicken on a salad is a dinner. A salad is a salad. They're like,
But it's just mom and son, right? My way too deep, right? Way too much of a, that's a stretch, right, folks? That's a stretch. But that's the end of America. I'm showing you that because we've enjoyed ourselves with some silly videos. We've seen some horrific stuff. We've even taken a call. We've even seen some zestified individuals talking about a draft and this and that. I've shown you propaganda. They're talking about eyeballs. Oh, they're ripping out their Israelis' eyeballs. But this is the real horror show. This is a real horror show, what I just showed you. It really is. We laugh, but it really is kind of serious. The way men are women now. In every way. And it's not just, we laugh at the simple things where it's like, we can laugh at like behavioral things, like how men used to act versus how they now act. And that's fun and all that. But there's serious, there's serious things in American society that won't get fixed until we confront certain things. Like men and women aren't equal. That needs to get confronted. Like for real. I was just talking to Art. I had just taken his call and I was talking about how it seems like we're starting, the seams are starting to come apart on certain lies. Like, for example, men and women being equal. A woman can do a man's job. I was showing you last week how there seems to be the inklings of a new trend on women that are basically admitting that a man in the home is necessary. But they don't go all the way by admitting and repenting that they were wrong for hating the man, for turning God's order upside down, which is man over woman, woman over children. They don't apologize for that and recognize the need for the order, for the man to be the head of the woman. They instead see, oopsies, maybe a man in the home should have been the right idea. I know, instead of admitting guilt and instead of admitting that I was wrong, I will hire a manny. Remember? I told you about Kim Kardashian hiring a manny because she doesn't like the female-dominated home. It seems like the seams are coming apart on some of these lies. And so there's Band-Aid fixes going on. And the Kim Kardashian thing is one of those Band-Aid fixes. But we got to go all the way. Okay? We got to go all the way because how do you think we're getting these zestified individuals? U.S. draft, 77% too fat, mentally ill, or stoned to serve in the army. Liars in the media. Violence in the streets. Idiots in the streets who will take $20 of fake monopoly money that means nothing at this point instead of an ounce of gold. We're degenerated, demoralized, fat and stupid and everything. How do you think it happens? Let's get real. I'm grateful for the people out there doing the work, and I'm making it, doing the work of exposing, political things, exposing foreign influence in the government, exposing, people who are not America first. And I'm grateful for that. But this is what you get out of the Bond Network. Who is confronting the WQ? We're not going to get better without confronting the female question. Okay? And it needs to be done. Let me show you a little bit of this female question playing itself out with an individual I've talked about before. I talked about him this last week. Chrisean Rock and Blueface. You know about them a little bit. This rap couple. Well, they're not a couple anymore, but they were. And they were very messy and public. And she's pregnant. And I was showing you a little bit of this female rapper, Chrisean Rock, and how she too was worried about a female influence in her home, knowing that the father to her child will not be around. And her describing and expressing her worry on dealing with that and how she's going to have to fill a role and all those things. I was showing you their story a little bit. Well, Blueface, the rapper, if you don't know about him, he got with that woman, Chrisean Rock. They had like a reality TV show. They put out some music and they got money and the fame, and he already had money and fame before, but, they went viral and that whole thing was going on. Throughout this whole thing, there's been he said, she said thrown around, physical altercations. And I've not really followed it too much, but maybe I'm a bit of a sick person and I like the ratchet ghetto stuff a little bit. And, but as I was watching a little bit, I've noticed something about Blueface here is that there's criticism we can have, but at least he's not just totally bowing to the woman. And I will show you here. I'll show you what I mean. Because he got this woman pregnant, this Chrisean Rock person that I told you about. But before that, he already had children with another woman. She goes by Jaden. And he had never... her name is Jaden Alexis, this individual whom Blueface had a child with, previous child. Anyways, turns out, here's some celebrity mess, but check it out. Here's what's going on with Blueface. He's basically calling out his own mom, and he's going hard, like on his own mom, calling her a whore. So check it out. Blueface, if you don't know, has been basically getting a lot of public and negative public backlash over what the public believes is his treatment of this Chrisean Rock person. Oh, she's just a poor girl who's just abused and she loves Blueface, but Blueface just keeps like that whole vibe, okay? That whole kind of energy is the judgment of Blueface right now. That he is this person who just takes advantage, and I'm sure that's somewhat true, but it takes two to tango kind of thing, right? And he's getting all this shade and all this negative backlash over his supposed treatment of Chrisean Rock. And, I'm looking at this guy because he apparently is now engaged to this previous baby mama that I mentioned. Jaden Alexis person. He is now engaged to this person. And I don't know about you fellas, but that nail shape, I don't know, ladies, if you think this is cute, but that's a deal breaker for me. I don't know if you forgave I don't care if you forgave your mama. I don't care if you forgave mom. I don't care if you forgave your mother. I don't care if you're born again. If your nails are this shape, that's a deal breaker for me. What is that? In what world? Where did this come from? What culture? Like, where did this come from? Can someone show me the timeline how we got to this nail shape and why that's positive? I don't know. Looks like the pizza. She got the pizzas. She got the ghetto pizzas. She got the Don King. She got the Don King. She got the what else? She got the Johnny Bravo. I don't know what that is. She got the Freakazoid. It's just silly to me. It's just silly to me. I'm sorry, that nail shape will never be the mother to my children. But he's got a baby mama. He's got multiple baby mamas. I know. Very ratchet, as they say. As they say. But check this out. In one tweet, he's completely turned me around. Because it turns out he's going to marry this Jaden person who's one of his baby mamas. But everybody was giving him mad backlash over this Jaden woman. And I'm looking at this Jaden woman and her nail shape, and I'm going like, Blueface, man, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? What are you doing, man? Like, but check it out. He defended his fiance on Twitter recently, and this is what he said about her. This is what he said about her. He said, okay, hold on. Oh, where'd it go? Hold on. My mom ring. Here it is. Hold on. Look, Blueface is trying to give black women some advice here. Jaden, he's talking about his soon-to-be wife now. Blueface, he says, Jaden got 2 kids, 1 baby daddy, and a ring. She's really her, for real. Follow behind these hoes if you want to. I got a real one on suit. Okay, let me translate. Jaden has 2 children and one baby daddy and a ring. She really is a more decent woman than all of you other indecent women. So you can follow those indecent women if you want to, but I have a true woman on my side. And then that little sound I did at the end is like a gang thing. I think it's like a gang thing. See? It's like a gang thing. I think Crips do that. I don't know. It's drama. I know it's stupid, but it's sad that this is a standard. It's sad that this is a higher bar than all these other ghetto people. But hey, 2 kids, 1 ring, 1 baby daddy. Ladies. This is your example now. I know it's a low bar, but this is your example now. Jaden Alexis, a woman with 2 children out of only 1 man, and who is now going to be married. So let's not throw any shade to Jaden Alexis, and let's wish them well in their endeavors. Right? This is the degenerated world we've arrived to. But I wanted to shout out Blueface for a interesting interaction he had with his own mother. And now the same advice applies even to Blueface here. Blueface, forgive your mother. And then maybe you won't be surrounded by such and be surrounded and I don't know, in the world of such messy women who seem to orbit you at all times. And you're unable to have peace, and you're unable to raise your son in relative peace and love because you're surrounded with these women. Well, Blueface, forgive your mother, and you might just have a chance, and you might be able to get out of this. That being said, it's worldly and still angry, in my opinion, but Blueface's interaction with his mother is getting all this crazy backlash from women online, which makes me think he's on the right track somewhat. Basically, he got into it with his mother, and he's calling her a whore. He says on Twitter, my mother is a whore, been married 3 times, 3 kids by 3 different men, and never married none of them. Never married none of them, only random men she liked with a lot of money so she could divorce and take from them at the end. It's all she's sleeping with a bum every night. Sad story for real. Could never respect her as a woman. Oh, dang. Now you might think, dang, Blueface, you shouldn't be talking about your mom like that. And maybe you're like, okay, that's not love, Blueface. You should forgive. That may be true. That may be true. But where is he wrong? Where's the lie, though? Where's the lie, though? Let's break it down. A woman who's been married 3 times with 3 kids, 3 different men, never married, divorcing them to take their money, sleeping with a bum every night. Can you respect a woman like that, folks? Is that a respectable woman, even if it's your mother? It's not. It's not. So you ratchet ladies yelling at Blueface, da-da-da, I know it's easy to do it. If you're following my ghetto segment of the show right now, if you're still enjoying it, guys, this is your host. This is what your host is interested in, apparently. But ratchet ladies who are mad at Blueface, instead look in the mirror. Instead look in the mirror before you cast your stones, right? Honor your parents, kids, says Lord Spike Protein. So true. So true. Nick is a Blueface expert. I've become one, apparently. Chrisean Rock gave birth to Blueface's baby on live stream. Is that true? Not classy. Not classy. Read that again. What am I reading again, Frederick? What are you guys saying in the chat? I blame you, Nick. I blame you. I could have lived a whole life without knowing who Blueface is. This is important, okay? This is obviously important commentary. This is important cultural commentary. This is very important, right? This has been a very important show so far, right? Oh, I must have been married 3 times. Yeah, that's right, Frederick. That's right, Frederick. What the heck am I reading? What kind of English is this, Blueface? You wrote that my mother was married 3 times, and then you also wrote and never married none of them. Blueface, you're gonna have to figure out your English here a little bit, okay? Let me get to calls. It's a loosey-goosey show. Let me get to calls. I got Zeus, Florida, on the air. Thank you for your call. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
What's going on, Nick?
All is
I didn't
well,
call
Zeus.
about this, but
no, go ahead. Speak about whatever you like.
I think what she said in that, or he said in that message, is that his mom married 3 men, but none of them were baby daddies.
Oh,
so she married
gotcha.
3 wick men and had 3 baby daddies.
So 3 baby daddies and also married 3 different men. So it's like, gotcha. Didn't have the children with those, just took their money.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I called
Thank
about
you
the
for
draft.
clearing that up. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So a little on the draft. I'm not sure. I assume the draft's only for men, right? Like they don't draft women.
I think so, right? I think that's, to this day, that's how it works. The selective service, I believe, is only men. Selective service. I'm looking that up for you.
And
the
one thing
law
that
currently requires that only men register with the selective service. Yes, that is correct.
Interesting. So I've seen videos on Twitter over the past few months of men in the Ukraine who, I guess, they did a draft in the Ukraine because it's getting bad.
They did.
And those men have, I guess, dodged the draft. And so you have conscription officers, I guess, going in. Like, I've seen a video where they go into a guy's house, like, in the middle of the night, and they go and they grab him and, like, make him go to war, I guess. Do you think they would do that in America if, like, with that one zesty guy, if he, like, refused to get drafted, they'd go and take him, wouldn't they?
Pretty sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's like a barrel of a gun type thing. I mean, that's from what I could tell. I mean, you're facing like criminal consequences should you draft dodge, etc. And they had that in Russia, and they raised the ages and all that out of necessity or whatever.
Yeah, because they do a certain age first, right? Like 18 to 35.
Okay.
Like that. Is that what it is? I don't know. I'm just going off what I think I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing I called for, and it's popped into my head as you were beginning to talk to Art. Shout out to Artie Art. So think about this, right? So say they do, and this is all future. We're all just speculating. Say they do, do a draft here in America. All the illegal immigrants that have come in won't be required to be part of the draft because they've never registered, right? Right? Am I wrong? So think about.
I really don't know, but it seems to me like no. It seems no because it seems like you got to be signed up to the selective service.
Exactly.
But that's all just speculation. That's just us saying that. That's just like
it is
just because a Wikipedia article says you need to be part of the selective service to be part of the draft doesn't stop the government from tomorrow saying, you know what, we need this many people, so we're gonna get this many people. Whether it's illegals, whether it's illegals, whether it's this or that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
but think about this: they're first going to draft military-age men in America who have been registered 18 to, let's say, 35. Those are the first people they're going to take, and then after they may bump up the age. And if they don't go for illegal immigrants, think about this: all these men they're going to draft. Think about what they leave behind in America. They're going to leave their women, and who are the women left with? All the illegal immigrants. And how many illegal immigrants have come into this country since Joe Biden took office? I think the number's like over 8 million. And when you look at the videos, a lot of them are military-age males. So I obviously, like, I guess, could be considered a conspiracy theorist type person. But I was just connecting dots. Thinking, isn't that crazy? If they do a draft, send all the American men to war, and they leave all the women back here with a bunch of illegal immigrants. And I don't think they would necessarily do anything bad. I think what will happen is they'll start mixing, and it'll create the next. I'm going to say slave class for the rich people, because rich people ain't going to war. They ain't getting drafted. Their sons aren't getting drafted. Politicians aren't sons. Most
you have that little faith in the women. As soon as the men are gone, they're just going to start sleeping with the immigrants.
You don't think they would? Come on, it's women, Nick.
What?
Real.
What is why now, Zeus? What in the world could make you think that you can't trust women in that way?
History.
Now what happened, Zeus? What in the world made you think such a thing?
History. What happened in the old days when tribes would go conquer other tribes? They'd take their women. Would those women sit there and put up a fuss? No.
That's after like taking over and killing off the men.
Even a more
in this case, example, you're saying the men they're not quite dead yet. They're expected to come home.
What happens?
So you're saying all the women who stayed home, they're going to cheat?
Yeah, probably.
Now, what would make you think such a thing like that? That would make you.
And here,
now, what has taken away all your faith in women, Zeus?
It's not that I don't have faith in women. I just understand their nature. Their base nature is evil. So it's not like I'm not saying anything bad about women. It's just in their nature.
But I still think it's a little bit maybe. I still think it may be a little bit too in fantasy world to think that all these women are just going to start shacking up and making babies with the immigrants once the men go off to war. I don't think it's quite like that, you know.
Here's another example from recent history. The women in Ukraine, they left Ukraine and have gone to other countries. Have they done anything for the men in Ukraine? A lot of them have gone and got with other guys in different countries. So, I mean,
how do you know that?
Sit here and I've heard. I think
where do you know this?
I don't know what. A caller, I don't know what show it might have been.
But you're telling me it's a significant enough that all these. So you're telling me that all these Ukrainian men have gone off to war, and it's a significant. You're telling me most Ukrainian women have gone off to find foreign men. How do you know this?
I can't give you a statistic like approximately 75%. No, I can't do that. What I'm saying is that's just the way it goes. You know what I mean? They're not going to sit there and mourn the death of all these men. They're going to go move on because that's what people do. Especially women.
I was saying sarcastically, why would you now? What ended your faith in women? Because I was saying that sarcastically because I understand where you're coming from. When left to their devices, look at the mess when left to their devices in the home. Look at the mess they made of the country and of the children. But let's stay in reality for a second here. Everything is fake, and the chat brings up a really good point. as much as this propaganda is going around about race mixing and all that, as much as it's more popular than it's ever been before, probably, it's still quite, in the grand scheme of things, it's still quite unnatural in that you still see that most people don't race mix. Hardly anybody race mixes, says everything is fake. And you'll notice that too with neighborhoods, for example. They talk about diversity and all that, and yet if you look it up, most people still stick to their own. They'll live in enclaves. They'll live in, if you pull up like a districting map or whatever, you'll see that the races all kind of live amongst each other. My point being that as much as there's propaganda, as much as there's all this stuff going on about cheating and the home has been broken down more than ever, I still think what you're saying is just an fantasy, that suddenly all these women are just going to start having babies with immigrants, once the men leave.
Well, if I may,
like once let's say the men were to die off, that's different. But in this case, we're still thinking they're going to come back from war, right? In this hypothetical scenario, the women are still expecting their men to come back.
Nick, it's war. A lot of them are going to die. Look what's going on in Ukraine. And second of all, it is technically fantasy because it's the future, and the future doesn't exist. But what I'm saying, and answer me this question.
I'm just saying that most women don't want what you're saying. I think that's too far.
Nick, can women be manipulated emotionally? Can women be manipulated emotionally to vote for abortion, to vote for politicians who will literally destroy the country? You don't think they could be manipulated emotionally to do what the government tells them?
Okay, but that's different than what you were saying. Yeah, sure. That's all true. That's different than just basically what you're saying is that all these women are just itching. You're saying that all these American women are itching for the. But that majority of American women are itching for the moment the men leave so that they could have babies with brown people.
I never said that they're itching for the moment when they leave. What I'm saying is once they leave and the men are going to war and dying, what choice will they have? Either they
you're right about
remain
that.
Celibate.
No, you're right about
the rest
that.
of their lives.
No, that's 100%. That's 100%. That's 100%.
And what I'm saying,
what you're saying,
is all of this is like I said before, this is a chess game. The people who are running the board, the elites, the people who the politicians actually serve, this is all part of their plan to make the New World Order one world government under communism. Because what have these illegal immigrants come from? They've come from countries where they've already given up their rights, they've given up their guns, and they got taken over. Mm-hmm. You don't think that they're going to come to America and do the same thing?
No, that's what they're doing. You're absolutely right about that.
Exactly.
I see what you're saying.
And that's all I'm saying.
No, I see what you're saying. This is like since the tribe days, once you take over, you keep the women and you take them. You take the women. This is how it goes. We may not have barbarians, but even in this so-called more civilized time, what you're saying is still true. Let's send our boys off to fight. Once they're gone, the women are going to shack up with the men that are left, and that's the immigrants.
Yep, and at the end of the day, I mean,
who is this only happening to? Only the European countries, only the Christian, the white countries.
Well, America's the last bastion of freedom. We're the only ones who have freedom to have guns. Like in Europe, they don't have that freedom. Canada don't have the freedom to have guns. Australia, they don't. We are the last ones. Once a lot of our men are out dying in war, because they're going to die. I mean, the way modern warfare works, like just look at what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. Mm-hmm. Those Ukrainians are dying. They're getting bombs dropped on them or grenades dropped on them from drones.
Yeah, it's pretty
brutal,
bad.
Man.
Yeah. I'm seeing that. I was talking to someone about that recently. That the modern militaries have still, even with all this footage from Russia, they still haven't quite adapted to drones. And it's one thing to be under artillery and air what do they call them? Air bursts. But it's another thing to have targeted drones following you. Like, that's scary. And they're just dropping very precise grenades. About that, though, what was I going to say? Go on. I forgot what I was going to say.
I just wanted that popped into my head. I just wanted to point that out. I wasn't even thinking about calling, but I was like, you know what? Popped in my head. Why not call about it and say it? I mean, like I say, like we've talked about, it's fantasy. The future doesn't exist. But
yeah. No. What you're saying is true, though. I mean, in that's just what happens when you conquer. That's just what happens.
And if you think about it, these guys that are running the country, the elites, the matrix, whatever you want to call them, they're playing 3D chess. they're thinking about this stuff in advance. They're kind of living in the future, and they're plotting out all their little moves. So, I mean, and they have the money and they have the power to pull it off. So good luck, regular Americans.
Dang. Well, right on, Zeus. I think that's everything. I lost my train of thought here, Zeus, but I appreciate your call. Interesting stuff.
Fair
Call
enough.
me again.
If I may, can I just give a shout out to my grandma?
Please, go ahead.
Shout out to Grandma C-Sal. I'll catch you later, Nick.
Right on. Take care, Zeus.
All right, later.
I didn't know C-Sal was your grandma, and maybe she's not. Maybe that's some shade. What's going on? I'm not aware of these interchat politics, if this is interchat politics, so I don't know, y'all. But I do have supporters over on Rumble, and I do thank you. Being Enlightened Till I Rise with the Rumble Rant says, hey, man, there's a tactic in the core called Run the Rabbit, where someone runs out of cover to draw fire while backup fires at the enemy. Can you guess who would be the forever rabbit? Being Enlightened Till I Rise, are you saying... What are you saying? Are you saying the Zestifieds will be the rabbits, or are you saying I'm the rabbit? I think I'd be pretty fast. I think I could draw some fire for the good of the squad. I think I can. I'm pretty squirrely and I don't know, like, let's move fast. You know, I get pretty lean too when I'm doing a bunch of activity. I'd be a little squirrely, kind of like lean dynamo, dodging, drawing fire. Are you talking about me? Being Enlightened Till I Rise, am I the forever rabbit? The king of graduates with a Rumble Rant, I thank you for that. Says, I'm proud to be zesty with a rainbow flag emoji. Okay, thank you, king of graduates. He goes on, or she goes on with a Rumble Rant saying, and if anyone wants to be in the military, then let them know, zest or not, from the OG Sweet Mouth. Horrible name. I think King of Graduates is playing around over in Rumble, but thank you for the support. Whoa! Big boy support from Ryan. Thank you for that. This is your show now. What do you want to talk about? Man, Ryan, thank you for the support with a very generous donation over there on YouTube with the super chat. Says, keep up the great work, brother. Much love from sunny Florida. Thank you for that one, Ryan. This is your show, man. What do you want to talk about? Hey, maybe you can choose where we fly on Friday. How about that, Ryan? And maybe more. And as well as the makeup flight. I got you all. I'm gonna make it up to y'all. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna enjoy it. Being Enlightened Till I Rise clarifies he was talking about the zestified fellas. They will be the rabbits. They will be the rabbits. Thank you, Ryan, for that. And everybody who is supporting the show, thank you for that. Let me get to more calls, huh? Hey, Frederick here is calling the show, says, thoughts on your topic today. What is even my topic today, y'all? We're a messy start, kind of a loosey-goosey show, but hopefully you're enjoying it anyways. Okay, let me get to LatinA, and then I'll get to Frederick. Thank you for holding LatinA in Cali. You're on the air.
Hello, Nick. I did not find it very amusing to see the libtards or the people getting hurt by the cars, the race car drivers in the street.
Yes.
It makes me think that too many Americans are really that stupid. They get sucked into propaganda and herd mentality. And have you gone over the definition of what propaganda is exactly?
I have not.
And what it's used for? I think that would be a good topic to cover, is what it is. And
I might have to look into it. I mean, I only ever thought of it as just, I guess, information to try and influence. But maybe you can give us a little taste before I do my homework.
Propaganda. I took some notes. Just a second. I looked up the website, and it says that propaganda is used to influence or persuade an audience to further an agenda, to encourage a particular perception, or using language to produce an emotional rather than rational response. And the number one place where that herd mentality takes place
Mm.
is the internet.
Yeah. That's for sure.
The second most famous, the fourth most famous herd mentality event in history that we know of is, according to this website, was Salem witch trials.
Mm. Gotcha.
And also, sporting events. That's
sporting events. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah.
Right, and that's kind of how that was my reaction to that too. But go on.
But sometimes listening to you, even you, sound like you get too much into your emotions. And for some reason, even though I love listening to you,
thank you,
I kind of get irritated hearing you get into your emotions.
Okay.
And I really enjoy, like, hearing a man be able to talk without putting so much emotion in it, because it reminds me growing up.
But what makes you think I have emotion? About what?
No, it's like I hear your voice changing, like from going calm to like almost like you're yelling.
I like yelling.
And I remember growing up, like, I don't remember.
But I like yelling. Sorry, I'm joking.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm just stating my preference.
I appreciate that. Please do. And speak freely.
And, you know, I don't remember the news being so full of emotions, like, and like ridiculous chatter, like Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was the goofiest.
Totally.
She show I ever saw.
Right on.
And the way they were trying to present themselves as news, and I think it was it Obama, when he was during one of his presidencies, that he made it allowable for there to be like some propaganda in the news, because it seemed like Chris Cuomo and Don Lemon were like a male version of The View instead.
Mm. So then why watch?
Yeah, because, why watch
it if it's going to make you emotional and be like, oh, look at these men. Look at these men.
Yeah,
it's making me so emotional. Look at these emotional men. Why not just turn it off?
No, because just like I started having to watch the press secretary, and Joe Biden at the press conferences.
Mm-hmm.
It's really annoying to have to look at him and hear him and listen to what either of them have to say. But we're supposed to, if we're voters and they are representing us and passing, they basically are going to be passing policies that affect our lives. Like, I'm a parent, and I've been forced to have to pay attention to the news now because they've been taking away my rights as a parent to even, regulations of what I have to do in order to, like, if I want my child in public school, or if I have to register my child to join the military registry that you were speaking of earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they don't register, like, I think that's like a crime,
Right.
And so
your point is?
To have to pay, I'm forced.
And so your point is?
Because ignorance is not bliss.
Right.
And,
right on, LatinA.
And so that's why I have to listen to what these people like Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo were saying, to pay attention to what kind of propaganda. How do we fight propaganda? That is I don't know the answer to that right now, but that's something that I want to look into. Is like, how do we fight propaganda? How do we fight herd mentality? Because it seems like the propaganda is trying to make us feel a certain way and get us into our emotions.
Do you get into your emotions?
Oh, yes. I mean, I have to fight it daily. I'm a woman.
Do you get into your emotions?
Oh yeah, too much.
That's how that's how this happens. That's how this happens. That's how this comes about. That's how we become a people that can be propagandized.
But I think that it happens more frequently when we are
because you're that.
When we're exhausted, it's easier. Like,
but do you see how because you're that? That's why it's happening at large.
Because of the women?
No. Because no, this is not a women thing. This is just individually. You see how you're subject to propaganda and emotion. That's why.
Everybody is.
Right, but you know how you
That's
are?
why. But how do we fight it? How do we fight propaganda and emotions?
Dealing with it with yourself.
And, like, you know, that was really good that you told us to, you know, take 10-second breathing break. Because taking that time.
Not as emotional as you thought, huh?
No, but you know what I'm saying.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you, LatinA.
Yeah.
I'm messing with you. This is pure fun.
I know, Nick. And taking that time to take the deep breath to center ourselves is really something that a lot of Americans actually probably don't do enough, is to be conscious of the breath we're taking.
100%.
And to, like, I don't know if you've ever, like, been in line trying to, you know, you're in a hurry and you're trying to get something to eat and you're, you know, waiting to pay an order or something, and maybe you catch yourself, like, kind of feeling flustered, and, like, I know I have, where I'm not, like, breathing as deeply and I'm breathing more shallowly, and that definitely affects, like, if I'm laughing too much, that affects my brain.
So true. I mean,
then I don't get much
that can happen to me in ways that you can't even, in ways that are easy to miss, because although I'm not going to get, I don't know, stressed out because I'm in a line, not getting my food fast enough. There's other things, like, we can get excited. Like, it's just easy to miss, okay? Emotion. You might think, oh, well, I'm not getting mad or stressed, but you're still a person that can get easily excited, and you start speaking fast and, you know, saying things you don't mean. It's all the same thing.
Yeah, but you know what? You just made me remember that I have seen cartoons trying to teach children to stop and count and breathe before they react to things, so they don't throw tantrums or get too upset.
Nice.
And I think that you bringing up the breathing technique or the silent prayer, that is something that, you know, we, like, even I can do as a mom. Like, before I yell at my kids, you know, I can stop before I react, so I don't, you know, make a bad parenting choice.
Nice.
But, no, it's not. I don't think it's good to be watching things that are going to, like, trigger these emotions of, like, hate or anger or fear. Like, I mean, it's okay if I think, you know, because I've reviewed some of these people interviewing lefties, and it's kind of just, the way I used it was to look at their thinking process instead of just criticizing them, like the way they answer a question. And I think that people who enjoy kind of those things, like when someone's getting hurt and they want to laugh, I think, or like women, you know, wanting to be pro-abortion, I think that's the reason why, is because they're probably full of too much hate. Because I used to be pro-abortion.
I understand.
Yeah,
totally.
All these idiots kill their babies. You know,
no, it's true. I was saying this too. Yeah, I was saying the other day, it's like, it shouldn't be a surprise to us that women want to kill the baby because because they hate men. You know, they're mad. The whole thing is that you want the whole package, right? The man, we made a child together out of love, and then you know, all that's shattered. We shouldn't be surprised women out here want to be killing their children.
Well, I didn't think.
Not that it's okay, but that's why it's happening.
I was just like, I just thought more like, you know, let stupid women abort their babies, because then they're just going to create more stupid people because they're stupid to think that way.
Oh, you're saying let them do that?
But no, I used to.
Oh, follow, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
Because I was full of hate.
Absolutely. Right on. Well, LatinA, you're absolutely correct about that. I wanted to say something to you. Oh, yes. Okay. You did. I want to say something to you, though. Something quite interesting since we've been talking. You're talking about the news and avoiding things that'll trigger this or that emotion in you. And you've even described this emotion, this trigger of emotion within you that has brought you almost to the point of yelling at your own children, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm wondering, LatinA, out of curiosity and wanting to learn myself, do you think that you can live a life where you can be where you can, come in contact with media or whatever that's, is supposed to be triggering these emotions, but they don't. That's such a clunky sentence. I'm trying to say, do you think you could live a life where you could see all those things and not have any reaction?
I know people that were born in the 1900s. A lot of them have passed away already, and I've never seen them be overreactionary. So I think that if we were to train ourselves, we could form ourselves. We can change ourselves. I know it's possible to rehabilitate ourselves and to become a better person that we can be. Be the best. If we wanted to be a certain way, we can form our minds. We can train ourselves, just like an actor can learn a part in a movie. But to
no, stop. No, it's not that complicated, LatinA. Let me just say what let me just make it simple. What I want to say it's really not that complicated. You know how you're saying you could train yourself in 1900s, and you're talking about all this stuff. It's way simpler than that. It's way simpler than that. Just go back to the thought you had about that person you were looking at on the TV or whatever, and you thought, "Look, it's so emotional. This emotional males, and look at society." Da da da. Go back to that thought and just don't believe it. Just unravel that thought and let it go. So next time you look at someone, and you're like, and you want to go into that and be like, look at this emotional da da da. Just don't do that, and then you won't feel all those things, and then you won't have to train yourself, and you won't have to train yourself not to judge, because in that very moment you will drop the judgment because you won't be thinking that. You know what I'm saying?
So I have to learn how to disassociate with that trigger.
Yeah. And even make it even simpler than that. That thought that you had that told you, look at this emotional. Okay, that's not real. It's just a thought. You know that thought that was going off when you saw those men and whatever on TV. You're like, look at the emotional.
But I think I got worse by being on the internet, though, and I've heard other men tell me that the internet is a very bad place for women to be.
I can understand that. I can understand wanting to avoid things, and I don't blame. Look, I just wonder, because you're gonna be faced with things in life, right? And you have children and all that, and I think you have within you the tools to see the craziest, most weakest people in the world and still be fine and not trip. Because you're gonna see crazy things, LatinA. There's no reason for I don't see any reason for you to be tripping and not having a good day and getting into some emotion that's gonna lead to a yelling to a child. That there's literally no reason for any of that. There's literally no reason. It doesn't matter how weak this person you saw on TV or this show or Don Lemon reporting the news like a fruit. Doesn't matter how much of that you see. There really is not a single reason for you to be feeling all those things that's going to cause you to yell at your kid. That's really my point, honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For taking my call, Nick.
Yeah, LatinA. I appreciate you calling me. I hope I made some sense here.
Yeah, thanks for allowing the conversation and not getting into your feelings just because I made a comment that was
not at all
kind of talking about your character.
Not at all. I welcome it. I can get a little, look at me pulling my shirt, getting all excited. I do it too.
Oh, I have one more.
Meaning getting into emotion and all that. I don't take that personally at all. Thank you for that, LatinA. You said you wanted to say one last thing before we move the wheels?
Somebody bought you or sent you a gift on Amazon, and you have to accept it before it expires if it hasn't already been transferred to somebody else. So I don't know how they sent it to you. Yeah, somebody sent you like a $50 gift card for like Subway or something.
You know what? I think I do have a text about that. Thank you for reminding me, LatinA. I will check it out.
Take care.
Call me again. Appreciate it. Cool. I got Frederick, Los Angeles, California, and then we'll end it, folks. I know we're over time here, but we started real late. So thank you, Frederick.
What's going on? Good afternoon, Nick.
Welcome, Frederick. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right.
It's a pleasure.
LatinA, is a great caller.
Yes.
Because she's talking about the real problem. Because there was an old song back in the day that came out. It used to go like, in the land of propaganda, girl without a mind ain't human. You got to have more than a bus that's booming. And that's the propaganda that they was pushing, that women need to be thinkers, that equal to men. Like, and this was a rap type deal. So the propaganda comes in different forms. It comes in the forms of religion. There's nothing you can do to debate it. You know what I'm saying? This is a belief system. And another thing, with the wars, these drafts that these listeners thinking that they're going to be in or whatever, wars done became like so detached where they don't have the soldier catching feelings. It's like a video game. It's no more frontline artillery. You up close seeing murder. That causes PTSD.
Well, how come you? Well, how do you know that? What makes you say that?
Because the same.
I know you're talking about the war. I guess has modernized past the need for what? For artillery and trenches and people on the ground.
Yeah.
And what makes you say that?
It's going to be an Air Force carpet box because if you watch what's going on in Ukraine, they sending drones.
That's not true. They have drones, but they're still using people. I just wanted to clear this up because it sounds like you're saying that for some reason, I don't know where you're getting this from, that we've advanced past the need for ground troops. Detached is going to be like a video game. Look, there is new technology, the drone thing in this Ukraine-Russian war. But that being said, the only way to take a position in all militaries around the world to this day, the only way to for sure be sure that you take a position is to have dudes with rifles go in. That's why they're talking about this Gaza offensive, right? They can bomb Gaza all they want, but they have tunnels and all this thing. The only way to truly take Gaza is with a ground offensive. That means boots on the ground, dudes with rifles getting shot at. That's just the reality of the situation.
They're trying to wipe Gaza out. They're trying to eradicate it from human life so they can rebuild over. That's the same thing they're trying to do to the...
That's separate from what you're saying, right? Like what you're saying is just not true.
No.
War is still dudes with rifles in the ground, fighting each other, shooting each other. Like that's the reality. There's artillery and all that, our air support. Those are all secondary. To win the war and take the position, you need guys with rifles walking in.
Hamas army is not that big. We're not fighting the army. We're fighting like a cell.
Correct. It seems like that. From intelligence reports, it seems like that. The problem is they have tunnels, right?
Can I talk? I know. Go ahead. Sit and get it out.
Yeah, but I want to talk. And I want to talk about tunnels.
I see that.
And I want to talk about tunnels, and I want to tell people about tunnels. So have a little patience, Frederick, and let me tell people about tunnels and war, because you're wrong about what you're saying. And I like talking about this stuff. And thank you for your patience.
They're going to carpet bomb that place.
And don't take it personally.
There's not going to be no more tunnels.
But don't take it personally. When I want to talk about bombs, and I want to talk about bombs over you.
All right, go ahead.
But I'm done. Thank you, Frederick. I appreciate your patience.
No. Go ahead.
Basically, I'm just saying you still need dudes with rifles to go in. So I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. It ain't going to be like they think it is. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but it's not like a video game. I don't know what you're talking about.
Really, yeah, we done look up United States in war games and how many times that they done did the simulation and the United States is not winning. If Iran and Russia and Syria get involved, we're not winning this war.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. But I don't really.
Yeah,
I'm an armchair guy, but
about 100,000 getting bombed. They're gonna pull them out, and it's gonna be started to be a nuclear type deal. That's why Biden's trying to get the Americans out of there. He know what time it is. He's not worried about. He's trying to get the Americans into Europe, a safer place. He's trying to get the Palestinians into Egypt because they're about to take Gaza and the West Bank. They wanted the mound. Y'all act like y'all don't listen to what I'm calling in about. William's like, what do they want? What do they want?
Who's disagreeing with you? Stop playing. You're playing this.
No. I'm blaming William.
You're playing a character.
I'm blaming William.
Oh, yeah. William might disagree with you.
He don't know what do the Palestinians want. They want Israel to quit coming across there trespassing and trying to take their temple mount. That's what it's all over. They trying to
It's like a land
invade.
And
it ain't Palestinians invading into Israel every day. They did do an attack on the 7th, but that's mildly what Israel been doing to Palestine. It's how Christians. They doing this to Christians, and they like whatever. They act like they all Muslims, but them are Christians over there in Palestine. But it's all good. The guys.
But who's disagreeing? Who are you fighting with right now? I don't understand.
No, I'm not fighting with anybody. I'm telling the people about the draft and how America is just now waking up because his people are sick of Biden and how he's out on Front Street kissing the wall. Everybody's kissing this wall, and I'm glad the American people is waking up.
But
I'm gonna radicalize you.
I know it's like, look, I love talking to you. Look, I enjoy your calls, but you came in and I know you're just like, look, nobody's listening to me, and I'm saying all these smart things, and I don't think anyone's disagreeing with you on this other stuff. But you came in and I was like, look at me, I'm all smart. And wars, they're just not fought that way anymore. But you do fight them like that. You need dudes with rifles to go in. It's not just drones.
Yeah.
I'm back on that. I'm back on that.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's gonna be a bigger war than they think. They got a lot of
and it's gonna need troops.
The Iron Dome, they replacing it as we speak because they done found a way to get past the Iron Dome. So it's not looking good.
Yeah, man.
It's not.
I'm personally. I've heard some of what you're saying. Reports on war games and outcomes, and as a layman, ignorant person, it makes a little sense to me because of how stretched out we are and all that. Unless we really are that far ahead every other country, and I just don't think we are. It seems with how stretched out we are, and bankrupt and inflation and all that, it doesn't really seem like we got wiggle room for more bombs and war.
They say the Arab OPEC already put something on the oil that ain't even hit us yet. Like we got a big shift of our money about to hit us because they saying that Benjamin Netanyahu did something and they don't put sanctions like Arab OPEC. And when they start messing with that oil and saying he's doing war crimes and they got power like that, our whole stock market's about to be affected. So I'm just watching the stock market. Keep your eye on the money, and you're going to see how quick things de-escalate. All right, and they don't even want them hostages. They want to make them martyrs. They just want to make them martyrs so they can reclaim the land and name them after them 200 people.
Who does?
But I feel sorry for them.
Who doesn't want? Oh, you're saying Israel doesn't want the hostages?
Nah, they're going to want them to be martyrs. That's the reason they're going to take all of the West Bank and Gaza and solidify it. It's no more a two-party state. They want a one-party. We want Biden. What they want is difficult. We about to see what happens.
We had someone visiting. We had someone who came to church who was from Israel, and he was telling me that a lot of people he knows back home in Israel, they're all basically rioting for Biden now. They're saying that they're hope or whatever.
Man, no, he's saying one thing. He's with Israel, but he still want a two-party state. And that's not what Israel about to do.
No. I'm saying that this just Israeli public, that they're putting their hopes or whatever into Biden, that Biden's gonna support them, I guess, and save them.
Yeah. He is. He's designed. I mean, he to a certain extent. When Iran,
yeah, but he seems kind of like a little bit more. He like in the sense that. I think I understand what you're saying. Israel. I think I'm following what you're saying, like pro-Israel, you mean? But he seems doesn't Biden seem a little like more reserved than some? I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's because I don't know if he's because he's old school or if he's got to appease.
He's been propagandalized too long. He's too old, and Israel been in his eyes since a baby. So that's been the golden ticket. Like, he's been praising Israel too long. He's too entrenched in the times, so he don't know what they really controlling what. He's old, man. I'm agreeing with y'all. He's old. He's just a puppet for them because he loves them so much. They like he's safe. He's gonna do what we tell him. He's gonna increase the budget. I hope they shut this mug down.
They shut the government down?
Yeah, that's what they need to do.
Oh, man.
There's only 8 or 9 Republicans about that life.
But you see who's doing it, right? You see who's doing it? What do you think about that?
Republicans.
What do you think about what do you think about the type of Republican that's against Jim Jordan, though?
They all the same Democrats. They're
rhinos establishment types, right?
Yeah, they all pro-Israel. That's what I'm saying. We need those 8 Republicans to go over to the independent party with RJK and Dr. Cornel West and put one of them as speaker. And then we can get some shit done.
Cornel West? I thought you were serious for a second.
Or or the Kennedy one. Y'all can have him. He's smart. His brains is.
You talking
his
about
brains
which one?
straight.
The one who talks funny?
Yeah, he talk like this, but he know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
That's the first time I heard you take a stab
Doing
at
an
an impression. I like it. Nice, Frederick.
Yeah.
That's a good
All right,
RFK.
man. Going over on your show. I appreciate you taking my call.
Call me
Great
again,
call,
Frederick.
LatinA A. Already quit disguising yourself as them girls wearing
Oh,
them
my
daddy
God,
pants
stop.
or whatever. Hey, y'all need to. Nah, I'm just playing. All right, have a good one.
Call me again,
Like-
Frederick. Appreciate your call. Interesting, right, folks? I mean, I don't know about a lot of they say we would lose a war against all those powers, and I know that's what Frederick's saying. And in my as an ignorant layman, it's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. But again, don't take my advice. I'm just a guy. You know what I mean? On that specifically. And what else? I got some Rumble rants I want to shout out. Thank you, King of Graduates, explaining a earlier Rumble rant. King of Graduates is clarifying, saying, nope, I am, in fact, the zesty Arkansan, he says. Shout out to Chris from YouTube. Awesome guy. Nick, you watch the network. Maybe you are the blackest one there. Loved the first 15 minutes most. You like the opening there? King of Graduates, I made some sense. Being enlightened till our eyes with a Rumble rant says, basically, propaganda is physical manifestations of the thoughts going on inside of you. So just treat them the same as thoughts, all lies. Huh, what about that? Interesting Rumble rant, being enlightened till our eyes, definitely something to smoke on. Making sense. I mean, think about it. If you couldn't be a person that can be propagandized, then what is propaganda but just empty words, thoughts, right? I'll never another King of Graduates Rumble rant here says, I'll never understand why you get so rude against Freddie. You're his favorite host at Bond, but you get mean. I don't even like you, but I think you're better than that. Well, thank you, King of Graduates. Appreciate your Rumble rants anyways. I'm mean to Frederick, really? I appreciate his calls. I've always been very nice to him. What are you talking about? I think I'm quite fair and generous to Frederick, okay? You may not like me interrupting people, I think I'm pretty fair on that too, but I'm allowed to do that on my show, okay? And when he's wrong about bombs and stuff, he's saying that war is basically a video game now. It's just not. Why do you think they have to have a Gaza ground troop invasion? If it was what Frederick was saying, well, they would just be comfortable bombing Gaza with all their stuff. But that's just not how war is fought. You could look up Ukraine offensives right now of foreign fighters who went to Ukraine, and you could see their deployments from beginning to end in episodic form. And they have to deal with artillery, trenches. They have to deal with. They could smell the Russians. Like, war is still like that. War is still like that. With all our technology, war is still guys with rifles shooting at other guys with rifles, and you got to go up to their position to take it over. So I'm allowed to do that, all right? I think I'm quite nice to Frederick. I've always said I like his calls, okay? It's all you people in the chat who are like circling the wagons, and I appreciate it, right? Circling the wagons. Hey, Frederick's a hater. F him. But I appreciate his calls. And all of everybody else's calls and everybody else's support. Thank you, King of Graduates, Being Enlightened Till I Rise, Ryan Moon, Skyjack, and Lin Yan Chen and Carver. All right, y'all. I think that's the show. Let me see. That's the show, y'all. What can I say? I appreciate you tuning in today, calling in, and whatever. We did a show today. War is hell. Yep, that's true. Look, thank you. We got through the show. Maybe with a halfway theme and message, huh? Otherwise, despite all that, I hope you were entertained at least. Are you entertained? Join me tomorrow for more American Anchor Baby at 12. We got another show coming at you. And, of course, Joel. We got Joel. We got JLP. We got Hake. And it's going off. All right, y'all. That's the show. Take care. I will sign off one final time here, huh? Let me see. How about this? One final sign off for my viewers. Let me say goodbye. Take care. See you tomorrow.